so much soap.
Oh, time. You've got 6 minutes left.
That's not sanitizer.
No, that's what it said. It's detergent.
Whoops.
Wash the tomatoes.
It's detergent.
Do it.
There needs to be labeling on that.
Bad ones. Here.
So what's good is actually they're very focused on cleaning utensils. But as a business, you would have thought having a burger at this stage would be quite a good idea. But
Well, there's soap. Get the soap up.
I don't trust the lettuce now
Yeah.
that you told us where it's been.
oh, that's all right. That wasn't with the rabbit.
Okay.
Oh, the rabbit was upset when I took it away from
You guys
him.
are mixed tomatoes are all rotten.
Alright.
Can we just chuck these or do you want them?
Oh no, we can have it.
Give me a little. Go right for it. You guys want onions for me?
Can you do one of
Yeah, no, it was just hot from the last time.
Okay.
It was on. It turned off. Huh?
Preheat it? It's not on?
No. It's
Oh, it did explode.
the burner oil was hot.
You've got 4 minutes left.
I don't know. Why do you have so much more lettuce than them? Use salad spinner. That's a lot of salad. That's a lot of salad.
I thought the onions were for the burger, don't I? Alright. Obviously on bird there.
Yeah, sure.
Can you mix with salad?
So it's good that they're changing the gloves fairly frequently, but even when you change your gloves, you shouldn't really wash your hands. But anyway, because the act of taking your gloves off obviously can spread contamination from the surface. Oh, nice touch.
Oh, wait, you can help right there. Oh, I probably want to clean.
So it's interesting using a towel as a to wash the dishes with. Towels are notorious for cross-contamination. They absorb, they keep moisture.
Use the sponge. We didn't use that the whole time. That's so fine.
Oh, the towel's got it. So have you got your deli meat sandwich all done?
Oh yeah, in the fridge.
All right, good.
No, It's not gross?
No, it's not close.
Oh, okay.
It's probably gross.
Salad.
Is this one there?
And onions.
That's on the idea.
We substituted onions for
Okay,
this.
we're done.
Go from the camp. Put your hand over there.
I think it's just a normal.
You've got 22 seconds left. Well, you better bring your stuff out to present again. That's good. Yeah. Oh,
Well, it's not done. I don't need to see that. It's still red.
It's the pink.
well, we don't want to poison them, so we'll give it.
Keep it cooking for now.
We'll leave it cooking for a bit.
This is side there. Should I do the rest of the onions?
Oh, that's nice up with burgers, isn't it? Don't you have burgers and onions?
What?
Don't you have onions with your burger?
I have one in my
Yeah, I always have onions with mine.
We didn't use tomatoes, so we substituted it.
All right.
So. We wash it.
Give him a water right now. I'm talking about it. Bigger kitchen.
Oh, do we have the cheese?
I don't know, because we're in the cheese.
No cheese? Okay.
No, it's the turkey.
We'll measure the
I put the
temperature.
turkey.
We'll measure the temperature so we do it out of hand. Does the heat come
Let
out?
me empty that. What's in this?
I guess we can put it on there, but like, put it back in. Put it through.
Only this.
Yeah, put it on the plate.
There's one in there.
So it's quite interesting. In the UK, they don't recommend. Well, they recommend thermometers, but nobody uses them. So they go on colour. of the burger. Now the thing is about the colour is that it doesn't really indicate anything, because you can have raw, which is pink, you can even have it when it's cooked, it's pink, due to the nature of the meat. So it's interesting that here in North America we do recommend thermometers, but who actually has a thermometer at home? Do you use it all the time?
My mom uses it more than I do.
I use it when I have like chicken. It's hard to
Yeah.
tell chicken or like fish.
That's true. You know, it's very
It's just
difficult
really
to do.
difficult.
So only about 14% of people actually have a thermometer, and that 14%, only a small percentage of those actually use it, as you rightly said. But yeah, it's one of those sort of consumer things, isn't it? But certainly with poultry, you're right, that's most dangerous, because the salmonella can get into the lymph nodes, i.e. travel into the meat, unlike a steak, which tends to be on the outside. So it's interesting, another thing which obviously you didn't do it either, is that when you finish the prep, they're interested in washing utensils, but nobody's actually bothered washing the top down at all. And what was also interesting is one person doing all the cleaning and the other one kind of doing it by guilt almost, to say, well, we've got to do something whilst we're stood here. But you see, they're not really coordinated at all. They're lacking the leadership again. What is your point from?
I failed, guys. I'm sorry.
So what temperature up to now? So what is the recommended temperature?
165.
Oh, you like your Fahrenheit still. So does anyone know what the recommended temperature should be for a burger? Yeah.
I have 145.
Old money again, I'm no good at conversions. Yeah, just press the button with centigrade. I think you're right, I think it's once, well actually the recommended temperatures,
180 Fahrenheit.
well what's that in centigrade?
82.
Well, the actual internal temperature for a burger is 73 degrees C. Are we good? You're good? All right, so we went over time a little bit. Do you want to just put it in the bun then, and we'll...
So everybody go out of the way.
So what do you want to do then? Well, there's only one more act to do, see what to do then. So are you finished completely? We done?
What's your burger?
Yeah, put your burger in the bun.
We need a specialist or something for a burger. A spoon? Is that clean? Yeah. Yeah.
I must admit, I like my onions fried, but... So that's very good, you see. No direct hand contact, which people like to see.
Almost, so close.
Almost like it happened. Oh, well, just, all right, that's good. So what you want to do is just list the number of fractions you saw, and we'll at the end we'll come back and look at those.
Thank you.
So again, it's interesting, even though the sign says how to wash things, it's certainly not being followed, but this is more for speed because they're conscious that it's all finished now, that it's time to go home almost. So they tend to cut corners. Now what's also interesting, and I won't expect you to do this, is that there's a perfectly good dishwasher at the back there, which is, and dishwashers are important because it's not just saving people washing, but obviously we've got a sanitizer heat cycle in them. So you would never do something like, you wouldn't just wash up and like this and leave everything behind. You'll actually use the dishwasher, but I wouldn't expect you to know that for sure. So don't worry about that. That's not marked down. Now what's also interesting, as I mentioned, even though I've said it about 4 times, they haven't even tweaked the surface yet, which I find very, again, I think it's really, oh there you go, the leader set stuff, that's good. Now they're going to think, how are we going to clean the surface? So we've got no, now someone's trying to have the initiative. Well, can't take responsibility. Now, there's a certain way you should do sanitation, and you know, I've been to a company well, I was in a company 2 weeks ago, but didn't quite do it right. So there's a certain way you can do sanitation. Does anybody think what that is?
Can I guess?
Oh, you can guess. There's no,
Detergent first and then sanitizer second.
That's right. So first of all, you've got to clear the deck. So what you have to do is make sure there's no organic debris, there's organics to quest the sanitizers. Then use a detergent to remove residual organics, followed by a rinse.
Sorry, like on the countertop, you mean?
Yeah, the counter.
Well, any sort of surface, like the countertop is one thing, but obviously they prepare food on the back counter. So the fact is that if you've got debris or organics there, you know, things are going to start growing, especially if you've got moisture there as well. So before you start any prep work and before you even start, and especially at the end, post-operational, you have to sanitize. So, as you said, you've just said it now about the proper regime, but, well, one, they're not listening to you, but the other. See, it's human nature.
I don't think they heard.
No, I don't think they're listening. Because they wouldn't like it, isn't it?
Okay, so they should have wiped it with water,
With
put detergent on, and then
rinse.
sanitize.
That's right.
And then rinse. Or
Well,
just
you
sanitize.
put sanitizer on, then you do a final wipe. You contact time, then you wipe it. That doesn't matter if you're doing sanitation in the kitchen or maple leaf or anything. So what she's actually doing now probably is just wiping contamination everywhere. So it's all right, no, keep going. You said you weren't listening. So this is very common, what you'll find, yeah, especially with cloths like this. So, oh, there you go. She just that was my towel. I thought it next time. No, don't worry, don't worry. So you finished then? Yeah, I think we are. All right. So should we invite Tamara down just to do some judging? Well, we'll go through it. Then we'll invite her down to take some judging.
Okay.
Very good. All right, so I should do something weak, shouldn't I? But anyway, I think we're good. So what you want to do is just write down your violation, put your name on, and then just submit them at the end. Well, you can submit them now if you want.
So are these worth 8%? These?
Yeah, it would be.
Oh my gosh, I need to write more.
No, like you say, don't worry. I mark very softly on this one because it's a learning exercise. And I think these sort of exercises are fairly useful because when you go into industry, you could do the same thing in terms of you only by doing something and looking at something you actually learn from mistakes. Because this kitchen actually is used for training. So if you're a food handler in Ontario, you've got $49. You can come to this class and they've got a TV screen that'll show you this, and they'll make you do all things here, just to teach you about safe food handling. So training is one thing, but it's only by being actively here, rather than just reading a book, rather than watching a lecture, that you actually appreciate these little details. So that's the reason why we're doing it.
Is there like a minimum time? Because I think the prep work would have, let's say, 15 minutes, and the actual cooking a certain time. Do you think, is there a minimum time to actually do the whole thing?
A minimum? Yeah, you should be able to do this in 10 minutes. You know, basically it's just like working in a professional kitchen. It's the obvious part was the burger's the one that takes the longest time. So you put that on first, and then you can sanitize everything after that, because the burger's actually the big food safety sort of sources of all the risk. It's got E. coli in, might have some salmonella, maybe Campylobacter. So it's very important to separate that out, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. So has everyone finished the reports then? That's all right. Yeah, if you just put your name on, because everyone forgets that. And as I mentioned, this will be the last lab you'll do already, and you'll have lab 1 and 2, which are virtual labs, so you'll get the results posted for those, and you just answer the questions in a lab outline. All right, so we're still writing. Still writing. We'll push the butter in the end. All good yet? Right, so if you finish writing, that's it, on exam. I'll just collect them, then we'll do, oh, it's quick enough. So you finished, all right? Good. Alright, it's good then. So, like I said, we'll do a quick, I'll upload the video so you can see it as well, just to see what you thought. So, anybody got any sort of comments then? Or the post-mortem, like you think you'll all be good cooks and you won't poison anyone and things like that?
There's a lot more to remember than I thought. I thought we did a good job, and then you sit here and you're like, oh man.
So we'll look at group 1 first, because as I know I keep repeating it, but no, I think what was good is that you did wash your hands. I think that was a good sign. So why didn't you look for, even though there was hairnets and aprons and gloves here, what made you not choose to wear them?
I didn't even notice it.
Yeah,
I didn't even notice it.
So if you went into a restaurant and you saw the people in the back with no hairnets, would that alarm you, or do you think it's not necessary?
No, not really.
No, and that's a big disconnect, because obviously at home we don't wear hairnets, do we, and things like that. So that's a big sort of shift in forehand. So, and like the other interesting part, as I know we talked about it, is the food that was left out here obviously was temperature abused. You had no idea how long it's been there. And as I mentioned, the lettuce had been, I had to rescue it, not rescue it, but retrieve it from my bunny's hen today. But you still use it. What was your sort of thought on that? Like, what made you, because I think you made a salad, didn't you? What made you actually use it?
Well, I thought it was like for the purpose of the exercise.
Yeah.
So like we did take out some unfortunate pieces like that were like just
So-
too far to even make the exercise work.
So you thought because it's just a lab class, there's no consequence?
I thought
No consequence in terms of no one's going to eat it, so I don't need to worry about it.
I thought it was like you wanted to watch us like wash the lettuce, so if we threw the lettuce out, then you wouldn't get that part of the learning experience. I don't know, maybe we should have just thrown it out.
No, like I say, I'm not putting you down for it, just trying to get, why would you use it? That's the only sort of issue. So, so on reflection, would you not use it again?
No.
All right.
Well, see, if you're working in like a restaurant or something, and like say your chef was like, oh, you need to make this salad, but this is the only lettuce you had, you're probably making that salad with that lettuce. You're probably not saying, no, I'm not going to make this salad, this lettuce is too bad.
No, absolutely true, and that is very true, because when you're in industry, you only see products, you do not see food as such. And if you're in a restaurant and something falls on the floor, something's expired, and you say, well, we need to use it, we'll use it. And this happens a lot. I don't know if you heard about the Bluebell ice cream, the listeria outbreak. You might have heard about it. This Bluebell was this sort of, a bit like Maple Leaf, a flagship company. It's been generations, nice, family friendly. But what they were doing, because of the production cycle, is that they were getting equipment that was obviously all gunched up. They didn't sanitize it, put it all back together. They knew what they were doing wrong, but they had to do it to meet production targets. And that's one of the other thing in food safety culture is that people disconnect with the food itself and see just product. It can have disastrous consequences. So it's good you've learned that you're not going to do it. So the other sort of thing about it is that you never selected a leader, neither team did, which I'm surprised at group 2 because they knew when this is. So what was the reasoning for that? Why did, because I know you all probably don't know each other that well, but when you go to industry you don't know each other that well. Was there any reason why nobody stepped up to be a leader? Oh yes.
Maybe it was because there was a lot of people watching.
Oh, you're conscious.
I
Oh,
would be really
that's
conscious.
I think it's because we're all on like the same level of like learning. Like, why should I be the leader over like Laura? Like, maybe Laura wants to be the leader. Like, she probably knows more than me. Like, I don't know. So like for me to tell her what to do. It's
Yeah.
weird. But like if you were up there and you told me this, I'm like, okay, like you know more than me.
God,
Like,
that's the first time you said that. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and this comes about the leadership because in any sort of organisation you would have a leader, basically someone who's been there the longest. And that's a bad thing to actually have. Why do you think having somebody who's been there for years and years should become,
Because they're very reluctant to change.
they're very, well, not flexible, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, they're not flexible at all. Oh yeah.
They've just been there so long that they've like slacked on things or they don't care anymore.
Exactly that. They've got shortcuts, and if you're trying to introduce new culture into a facility, it's very difficult to do that because you're battling them. And there is a sort of advice in food safety culture, is that the first thing you do when you take command is sack, regardless, the most senior person of the workforce. A bit like a sacrificial lamb, so to speak. But it rarely happens, one, because you'll be on the Labour board before you know it, but that's what they say, you've got to set the example. So, as we said then, nobody took the leadership, but you did towards the end. Right at the end you said, look, do this, and that's really important to do. And the other thing people did do is sanitise the set, as I mentioned, regardless of, you've got to assume it's non-sanitary in order to do that. But in terms of handling, with the gloves, I noticed sometimes you would touch something and then go and touch something else without washing them. But after saying that, you did take the gloves off. You didn't wash your hands after that. And this is the sort of big sort of deficit or disadvantage of gloves in that people don't tend to wash their hands so much. But other than that, the temperature was good. I must admit, I've seen better sandwiches. Washing salad is a sort of contentious issue, but you did that right. You did it under running water rather than soaking it. But one thing, as I say, you all failed on in a way, is that the 3 sinks here, rinsing off debris, detergent to remove organics, and admittedly I should have labelled the bottles in on the sanitizer to sanitise at the end. Alright, so that's good, a good exercise. So I'm going to bring down Tamara now, and just see if she's willing to take some of these.
She's leaving.
Oh, hi there, team. We're ready to do your taste test and we're going finishing up.
So embarrassed. Hi. Madison, why did you put that?
Yeah, so on the side notes, like I say, these labs were introduced last year for the fact that non-food scientists have to do something. You know, if you can think of a way to make it more effective, then I'm always open to suggestions, because you know, when you're devising these, you're devising them on the standpoint that you know most of the food safety violations, but so maybe you missed something, but any suggestions are always good. So we'll just if you want to try the other salads or take anything home, please do. We'll just wait for the judging, because
Should probably throw out the bunny salad.
which one?
Should probably throw out that salad.
We'll see what she looks like. So,
Is it a bunny?
do you know, well,
You
just
said a
as
pen.
which one?
You said a pen. Was it a bunny or a mule or a donkey? What kind of pen?
Where you had the lettuce?
Oh no, bunny.
Oh, okay.
All right, tomorrow. So if you want to have a look and see what there is, and do you want to try any of them?
I will.
They look wonderful.
Could I recommend the
Lettuce?